Hey guys, so on this episode of Make It with Calvin, it's time that we actually make some charcoal kilns. So let's talk about the process to get up till now. Alright, so here we have it, the two-part mold that was created using the original foam cores that I used. Now I opted not to film the casting process just because honestly I wasn't very confident in it, and I figured better to do it off camera in case it fails. There are a lot of videos online. Smooth-On has some really good ones for making two-part molds, so if you're interested in that, I will have a link to that down in the description. What I ended up doing was using the thicker wall of the two styles of kilns that I came up with, hoping that I could actually cast a thin-walled plaster mold, but it's just too brittle and it didn't work. But I can use the mold as a single part, fill it up with plaster, and create a kiln that way if I didn't want the inside to be visible. Now my goal is to actually have one of these kilns set up so you can push a button and effectively watch in a way, a little light going on inside, and then it, flickers down, and that's the kiln cycle in a very, very condensed version. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cast up using this amazing casting resin from Alamite, a kiln here on camera so you can see how the process goes. Now, I've already sprayed down the inside of the mold with some mold release. This is really handy to help things not to stick, so let's get started. Alright, you're going to have to bear with my head being slightly cropped out, but who cares? So I know that this mold has a 30 milliliter capacity, and I have these little measuring cups, so I'm going to mix as close to 30 milliliters as I can. If there's any excess, it will just ooze out the sides, and it's not the end of the world. Alright, make sure we got that mixed really well, and then I'm going to pour this from a high height to hopefully help remove any of the air bubbles. I don't have a pressure pot. I wish I did, but I'm just not doing enough resin work at the moment to justify that. Alright, good enough. Then what we're going to do is we're going to carefully take and press the top part here into the bottom part. I'm just going to keep my hands on it for a minute just to apply a little bit of pressure. This stuff has a working time of about 2 to 3 minutes, and they say you can demold in 5 to 10. I've found that for what I'm doing, I usually let it sit longer. It can't hurt, just because when it comes out, the parts are still kind of squishy. But what I'm going to do at this point is just leave this in here like this, and then I just use whatever excess is in the container to act kind of as an indicator. Nice thing is when this stuff kicks off, it turns white, so it's really easy to tell when the chain reaction has begun. Alright, so a lot more than 5 or 10 minutes has passed. Now it's time to pop this bad boy open and see what's inside. Because there are what are called undercuts. I definitely have to be careful when pulling the parts out, but let's see what we got, shall we? Well, it definitely looks like I should have mixed up a little more resin, but this will definitely do. So you can definitely see along the edge there where I needed to mix up more, but you can see we have our little back opening and our front opening as well. So definitely say having the mold release inside there really helps for removing the parts. And as for this, I can still totally use it. I can just set it on a flat surface and sand it. Alright, so it's been a bit. Obviously the resin has done its thing, as we can see from that. So now let's just very carefully peel this guy up. Oh yeah. So there's definitely this little bit of extra material, if you will, but that's honestly not that big of a deal. And ta-da! There we have a finished charcoal kiln. So there's definitely a little bit of cleanup work that needs to be done on something like this. Sand the edges a little bit, clean out the openings if there is any flash left behind. But overall, that is how I produce my charcoal kilns. All right, so that is how I produce these little charcoal kilns for myself. There definitely is a little bit of cleanup work that needs to be done, but that's the case with really any resin casting. You're going to have issues like that. That being said, if you guys are genuinely interested in these, let me know in the comments down below and I will put together a listing for them in the Etsy shop. Honestly, I'm genuinely surprised that it is so hard to find charcoal / coke / really whatever you want to make it into kind of kilns out there. So if there is a market for these, let me know. I'm genuinely curious. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you here next time on Make It with Calvin with maybe when one of these lands on my 0-18 layout that made it to the Fiesta that kind of is inspired by this. So we'll see. All right, see you guys later.